Hey, what's going on all my otakus out there? It's VFM here. What's happening, everybody? This is your brand new segment of The Verdict for all of you guys out there. This time, I'm talking about Batman Year 1. As you guys can see from the shirt, we're talking about Batman today. So, Batman Year 1. Brand new DC animated, actual story, was a feature to hit Blu-ray as well as DVD. It's all about, pretty much based on the original story done by Frank Miller as well as, some artists and whatnot, called Batman Year 1 of the same name. So, why is this such a big deal? Because this is supposed to be not only the marking of the beginning for the actual origin of the Dark Knight, it tells in a kind of different light or whatever, but also, this was the particular comic book that heavily influenced Christopher Nolan when he actually took up the Batman franchise for Batman Begins. And there's a lot of similarities between the two movies or whatever. But anyway, moving on from there, the actual movie itself. This movie is really, really good. The reason why it's so good is because this is an actual frame-by-frame translation from the comic book to the big screen. Or not the big screen, but, to the actual screen for a DVD or for a Blu-ray. Pretty much anything that's in the comic book is in the actual DVD, right down to the last tidbit of frames. It's really, really cool. All the characters retain the same look and the same style. Not pretty much, the same kind of like drawing art style. It's a little more smoother than what the comic book presents it. But pretty much frame by frame, the setup of everything, the characters, what goes on in the story, it's pretty much the exact same. So if you've never read the comic book before, you're not going to be at a loss because you're going to get the same exact quality and the same exact story from both mediums. Really cool. Sound design, awesome. Really cool stuff. I love some of the music in the actual, movie. It's really reminiscent. DC has this really good habit of actually scoring a lot of their animated movies very well. It's really cool. Some of my favorites, including Batman Under the Red Hood and also Superman and Doomsday, have some of the best animated scores, or the actual best scores for those animated actual movies. Now, overall, the movie is well done. There are some extras, some little previews and such here and there, for the Blu-ray and the standard DVD. Here's the problem, though. Here's some of my problems that I have with Batman Year 1. Number one, its greatest strength, it's also its greatest weakness. Because I've noticed that in a lot of the other DC animated movies that are based on these really popular graphic novels or comic arcs and stuff like that, really have a personality of their own. Because, they take some creative liberties in actually making the actual DC animated movie. However, since Batman Year 1 is a direct translation of what goes on in the actual comic book by Frank Miller, you pretty much don't have that individuality. And what's a shame is because of that individuality or those little kind of like little flair and creative actual liberties that they take in some of the other DC movies, because of that, you'll be able to go back and actually read the comic arcs and get a different feel and different flavor of what goes down. You'll have an incentive to check out both mediums. With Batman Year 1 is the exact same thing of what's in the comics. So some people are just going to watch the movie and not go back and check out the actual comic book, which is the original source material. Again, it's exactly a direct translation of what goes down. So it's understandable why people wouldn't do that, but again, its greatest weakness is also kind of a fault in itself. On top of that, there's one other problem that I had, and this is probably the only other major problem I have with this movie. I'm not really a fan of some of the voice acting for some of the actors, some of the characters, particularly Bruce Wayne and Batman. I do not think that it was a great voice for him. For some reason, I know they got it right on Batman Under the Red Hood, and they also got it right with some of the other DC animated movies, including Batman and Superman Public Enemies, as well as Batman Superman Apocalypse. Those movies, they got it right. But with this one, something feels off about Batman/Bruce Wayne. It doesn't really sound like him, or doesn't really give that sense that, yeah, okay, this could work as Bruce Wayne. Same problem goes for Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon, I'm looking at the characters, for Batman, Bruce Wayne, for Commissioner Gordon. I'm looking at these characters and I'm hearing them talk and I was like, something, that doesn't really sound like a Commissioner Gordon, or that doesn't really sound like Batman's voice to me at all. It's just, something is off about it. Now, this could be due in fact, because everybody loves Batman the animated series, and, Kevin Conroy will always and forever be Batman, just like Mark Hamill will always be the Joker and stuff. But even then, I could still accept other voice actors voicing Batman, provided that it sounds like, okay, this could be Batman. This could sounds like, a Bruce Wayne voice, or this could really give off the personality of what Bruce Wayne and Batman is. And I didn't really get that with Batman Year 1. Again, it could be any number of different reasons. It could also even be that just because this is Batman's origin, this is the first kind of like year he's on the job or whatnot, and he hasn't really kind of like caught on that sinister, act or that, fear to kind of exhume out there, through his voice and everything, which, isn't really kind of true because towards the end of the movie, things kind of change and fall into place, not spoiling it, by the way. But, again, I think that they could have chosen better voice actors for both Batman and Bruce Wayne. Most of the other voice actors in the movie didn't really bother me as much because, again, they're created just specifically for this comic that what Frank Miller created, including Commissioner Loeb. If you guys have seen Batman Begins, you know exactly who Commissioner Loeb is. This is where his original kind of like first, coming out in the comics was. As well as, Flask, Detective Flask, which is Gordon's partner in the beginning of the movie, or the beginning of the comic, and also in Batman Begins. But anyway, overall, Batman Year One is a good DC animated movie. I love how DC handles most of their animated movies, with some minor problems here and there. However, still a success, still really good. If you've never read the comics before, you can check it out and you won't miss a thing. It's pretty awesome. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Leave your comments and video responses, guys. I don't mind. Just keep it civil. Let me know what you guys think of Batman Year One, if you like it or hate it. What are some other DC animated movies you want to see? Or what are some superheroes should get DC animated adaptations? Let me know. Also, same thing goes for graphic novels. Put it in the comment section below. I'll talk to you guys again soon. So, I'm VFM. This has been The Verdict. Stay epic, everybody.